Man, we can continue playing in the single-family real estate space, right? And it's great, quick little come-ups, right? Quick little flips and make some money, which just, translate to like a dopamine hit. But the big picture, this gap is getting larger. And
so if that falls, just telling you, if real estate falls, automotive goes with it, everything goes with it.
So, looking at the cycle of things, and if there's one thing that I've realized, man, over the past couple years, just with all the fear, pandemonium, doubt, the media pumping stuff in, right? They sell you on the news. And really, when I look at the news, as crazy as it sounds, man, it's like I'm trying to see the silver lining behind the news, right? Like whose agenda is behind what we're being sold at the moment, right? And the fear and pandemonium that pumps and, infiltrates the markets. And it's not hard to see that we're coming out of a massively manipulated market across the board, right? Like the free money, like basically free money, just printing free money, like is going out of style, right? Handing over PPP loans, EIDL, stimulus checks, like it's almost like, dopamine hits just to keep the people, just enough to kind of keep them reliant on the system. It goes deep.
It is, and I understand why at the first we gave the stimulus money, but then it kept going and going. There was only so much you can push into the system. Now, when you print all of that money, which is trillions of dollars, and our national debt, which, you always wonder, who do we owe $30 trillion to, right? We owe the economy $30 trillion. Our kids, our grandkids owe that money.
But you got billions to donate for some cause, right?
Yes. And 75 cents of the dollar probably never gets there.
Yeah.
So it happens all the time. It's been found. I mean, those, you can call it conspiracy, whatever, it happens. But, when we look at the overall economy with the stimulus, the first checks, yes, need to be happening because they shut the economy down. You got to keep it going. But at the same time, a lot of people started staying out of work. And two reasons, right? Yes, some can live off that little bit of money that was given out in stimulus. They're used to that. And that's fine. But the second part is I think people had time to really sit back and think about their lives and say, do I really want to keep doing the 9 to 5?
Yep.
Do I really want to keep doing these things? Do I want to keep doing the things that I've been doing for 30 years? Or do I want to go out and make a difference and change my generational wealth? So I think that's what actually happened. And hate to say it, I work for a lending company. I work for a great company, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's more of the other companies that have taken advantage of their workers.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's coming back from the fold. It's coming back to a point where, they're wanting better respect. They're wanting more opportunities, and they didn't get them when that time comes. And now it's changed in their favor.
Yeah.
So I have nothing against that. But, there's a lot of other factors that go into a lot of things that are happening right now.
Business just got so easy, right? Like I call it unicorn season, where anyone could step in. But now that the tide's going out, right, we're really going to see what that looks like. But when, it's like the triangle. All this money that was printed, we are standing in the middle of the largest separation of wealth in history. Like it's happening right now, right in front of our eyes. And it's not that wealth is getting destroyed, it's just changing hands, right? It's just kind of shifting. But all the money, in most cases, when the money gets printed, it still ends up flowing back up, right? It's an interesting system to see how it works, right? But you got the 1%, the wealthy up top, and you got all the worker ants, right? I had an interesting little metaphor that crossed my mind a couple months ago, and was like, man, we can continue playing in the single-family real estate space, right? And it's great, quick little come-ups, right? Quick little flips and make some money, which just, translate to like a dopamine hit. But the big picture, this gap is getting larger, and for us, speaking for myself, if we don't shift right to the bigger plays, like start trading multifamily units and the bigger deals, then you're going to be a worker ant, right? Little worker ant, feeding the colony for the rest of your life, right? Just like working, bringing some bread back to the little ant hole.
Well, and that's the thing, is I think it's been ingrained in the American mindset of work. I don't know who came up with the 9 to 5. I don't know if it was Henry Ford.
Came out of the industrial age, right?
That age of Monday through Friday, you're working 8 to 5. And now jobs have actually changed. It's 9 to 6. You don't get a paid lunch. Your lunch
That's crazy.
You don't get paid lunch anymore. A lot of jobs are working way more hours. right? And it gets to a point where you work too many hours, the taxes are even higher on that income. So it's pointless sometimes, and people feel beat up over that. So they're making changes. I'm seeing a lot in the real estate, and a lot of it had to do with the real estate market got really easy for 2 years. I mean, you could put something on for sale by owner and it'd be gone in a day. Now it's changed. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to do more things to make it more, more glamour to it, to where a buyer is going to want to buy it and that you've got them locked in. So you got to take advantage of multiple different factors when you're selling these homes. But I say, overall, American workers, I think they just found better options. The computers have gotten so advanced now, and things have gotten so advanced. You got people doing Uber, the DoorDashes, all that stuff, and they're able to knock it out, do that, and another little part-time job, and still made what they were doing to have a lot of freedom. I think people are starting to get to that minimalist mentality. Like, do I need the big cars? Do I need the glamour? They see all this stuff on TV that's not true. And they're like, I want to go be a minimalist, and I want my freedom more than I want to buy materialistic goods. So it's changed a lot.
Technology's also bridged the gap, right? We have, I call it the corporate veil. This big wall that was kind of built up between the big corporations and the government or whatever, big business owners, and everyone else. People that came up in the industrial age, right, that have been taught to work for the system, right? Trade your whole life working a 9 to 5 with the hope that you can retire and get a pension at the end of it, right? And then enjoy this little patch at the end of your life here, right?
They call the golden years.
The golden years.
I don't know how it's golden years, because you get to that age, you're already, especially if you're in manufacturing or anything where you're working in some harsh elements. You don't make it a year in that golden year.
Tim Ferriss talks about you got these phases, right? You're young guy, and you got lots of energy, high E, lots of time, no money, right? We'll put it. You get to middle age, and you got lots of energy, you got money, but no time, because you're trading your time for dollars, right? This is the middle age. And then you got retirement, or you get old, right? The old guy here. Crappy stick figures. And you got no energy, but you got a lot of time and a lot of money. And so his argument is, why can't you have all three right now, right? When we're just going to assume most of our audience is here in the middle age, right? Why can't we have energy, money, and time all working for us, right? And I think, to your point, that's we see a shift that's happening, and technology has bridged the gap, and it's torn this veil, this corporate veil that's kind of been built up, where the gatekeepers, right, they're the ones that run the systems, that the shared knowledge to actually build a business and have something sustainable. Many of our parents might have had small businesses, right, but we didn't have the keys to the kingdom, right? But now technology has just wiped this away, right? And it's really bridged the gap between the haves and the have-nots. And so my claim is that there's more opportunity at our fingertips, and even just looking at our phone, where you have access to any and all information you could ever access or need right here on your phone, where 30 years ago you had to go to a public library to browse through the indexes just to find an answer to something. You can go to Google and get that spit out in a minute, 30 seconds, right? So the opportunity is here, and people see that, right? So stop wasting time, get out there and get that money.
Exactly. I think it's definitely, times have changed, because I remember, even 25 years ago, if you wanted to go see a house, you actually had to go into the real estate agent's office. They would take you around all the houses. Now it's like, boom, you see it with your phone, pictures tell everything now.
Virtual tours.
Right, that's what we were talking about is, you got to pull every card out now. I think that's what's going to happen. And nothing against the agents or real estate agents or anything now, right? They're got to work a lot harder. All right, it got a lot easier.
Get chased out.
Yeah, in Charleston we've got about 7,500 to 8,000, I believe. Right, so I don't know what that correlates in terms of how many are going to be still actually active in the market when all this stuff goes on, because I think this is, we talked about it's going to last a year to 2 years, and that's why I think a lot of the marketing now, you're going to see ARMs coming back on a lot of the mortgages. You're seeing the promotions are, look, you buy the house, you're not buying the rate type thing, you're marrying the house. Because interest rates will go down.
Yeah.
It's not like anything else that's fixed. It's like that will go down. Interest rates will. But the house price, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. In a natural market, you're what, 3 to 6% appreciation a year, give or take. So it will continue. Real estate is appreciated over the decades to a point, but that rate will eventually go down. I don't think it'll get down to 2.5% again. I think 4.5%.